What is up, guys, and welcome here to the Daily Quest, episode number 12. I'm Solid Jake, and yeah, you might be saying, hey Jake, the Daily Quest number 12 was, in fact, yesterday, and that was about Zagara, and we already saw some of that. Well, Twitch got wrecked yesterday. The entire website went down about 2 minutes into the show. So we tried to record, and then everything kind of exploded. So you may have seen some of it, you may have not, I don't know. I actually have no idea how much anybody got to see. I just know that Twitch got wrecked. So we're doing it over. And although I went through the introduction and all that good stuff and got into the first game, I'm going to start over. Now, a few things to announce and thank all of you for. First, thank you for voting for me in the Twitch or the Blizzard Stream Awards. I actually hit that 5th place. There was a ton of really big names in that category, and I actually managed to snag that 5th place spot with my stream. So thank you so much, guys, for voting for me, and thank you so much for voting for Town Hall Heroes. That's a podcast we do on Wednesday nights, because that got first place for Best Heroes of the Storm podcast in the community for 2014. So really cool stuff. Thank you guys for the support. But today we're talking about Zagara, and let me find her. Let's find Zagara. Let's go to the shop. Oh, and there she is. There she is. Now Zagara, I gotta do this thing again where I reload the presentation to hide my ugly mug. Yeah, there we go. It's at 11. That's totally wrong, but that's okay. Zagara, she is the brood mother. She is a queen from the StarCraft universe. And let's just look at her kit really quick today. Now, today we're doing a special build. We're doing a special creep spread build that we start to see rise in popularity, especially in maps like Dragonshire, where having that creep spread, the mobility, and the vision is crucial because of the, lots of rotating that we see between the various heroes. They like to rotate between the bottom and the middle lane, and, well, the creep spread becomes quite impactful in terms of just providing that vision and mobility. Creep Tumor, that is, of course, Zagara's trait. Generate creep, allowing Zagara and her minions to move faster, but this also gives her additional health regeneration. So, it's movement speed and health regen for the trait, but looking at her kit, well, what does she do? She summons minions. She has the roach pod that she drops, the infested drop that bombards 2 roaches that will fall in a target area, summoning 2 roaches that will push for a little while, and they soak up a lot of tower shots. You got the Hunter Killer, the Hydralisk, that will then charge at one enemy. You select the target, and it chases that target away, deals a lot of damage, and forces people to back out. Very good for zoning because it hits hard. And, of course, the Baneling Barrage, where you shoot a line of Banelings that explode and do a lot of splash damage. There's a lot of utilizing this in the best manner possible. A lot of the times, minions, the way they position themselves when they finally stop moving, they will kind of create like a pocket, and you want to try to throw those Banelings in the middle, connect them with the mage on the minion pack, and ideally that will hit the entire minion pack. Of course, you just want to maximize the surface area with the Banelings. Don't just throw them from max distance. If you can maximize the splash, always try to do that. Looking at the heroics, though, we have Devouring Maw. That's the massive, just ground the space control. You have this control over the battlefield that can eat up a bunch of people. You can set up amazing wombo combos. You pair that with ETC's Dance, and you just stand outside the maw. When they pop out and he starts dancing, oh my goodness, does it ruin lives. And of course, Nidus Network, not something we see a lot of. It does have a global reach. You can have that global presence. If there's ever a gigantic map, maybe this would be played a little bit more, but as it stands, not really something we ever see in general. I mean, there's cool uses, like you can put your maw down into the mines, and you can instantly be down to the mines and start clearing. But giving it maw is kind of rough. Zagara has a lot of nice skins. We can look at those. Oh, she's so fashionable. That's great. That one's good. That one's good. That one's real good. She looks good, but let's look at her talents. Now, I totally did not set that up, and this is supposed to be my button that brings up the talents. Ooh, so let's set that up with my stupid face in the way, and boom, talents. Let's look at them. We're doing a creep build today. I'm going to go over first the standard Zagara build, what you'd expect a competitive match to do if you're not going a creep build. Now, the creep build is viable and competitive. That's the difference that I want to convey here. Although that's going to be our focus today, it doesn't mean it's not viable. This was supposed to be a wonky Wednesday, which usually means like it's a bit out of the norm. But typically, Actually, you know what? We'll talk about the builds at the end. Let's just go through all the talents first. So level 1, centrifugal hooks, not really worth picking up. The increased range on the banelings is cool. In theory, you can like stop a turn in on a Dragonite from downtown. Yeah, it's not worth your time. Corpse Feeders, though, that's 30% less damage taken by your Roachlings, so they tank up that many more tower shots. 30% more shots on towers. Really strong talent, and you can also get the Reconstitution. That's 200% increased health regeneration when you're standing on your creep. Since creep is so crucial, this is very good. Demolitionist, kind of fallen out of favor when you consider that the roaches get the increased utility of being able to help tank mercenaries, help tank just waves of minions, and just tank the tower shots. Ultimately, it's probably more impactful than Demolitionist can ever be. Demolitionist just kind of feels like kind of a weak talent in general, so I would suggest you go with one of these two. Since it's going to be a creep build today, we're going to grab Reconstitution. Looking at level 4, Envenomous Spines is a wonderful option. It's increased range and increased damage over time with your auto attacks, and just by having extra range, Zagara becomes that much more potent. So, very good talent. Medusa Blades, it splits up. It gives you a little bit of splash damage on your auto attack. Not really super impactful. She has enough AoE as it is, so I don't really see a lot of use in this. Tumor Clutch. You go into creep build, yeah, this is going to be the option you go for this build, but that's just removes the mana cost and 10 seconds off your cooldown for that trait placed on the creep tumor. And, of course, Envenom. You can never count out Envenom. It's a very powerful talent. It is a generic talent, but if you're going a blow-up style where you have Stitches Tyrande, and then you just throw down your Hydralisk and an Envenom, that target is going to die, so it has its place for sure. Definitely 3 good options on this tier list, being Envenom Spines for the normal damage, the Tumor Clutch for a creep build, and lastly Envenom if you're trying to go a more blow-up composition. Battle Momentum is such a good talent for any hero in the game. The problem with Battle Momentum on Zagara is her mana pool struggles so hard. If you get this and you're just like, oh, I'm just going to spam Roaches and Hydras for days and it's going to be great, you run out of mana really fast. It definitely can be used, and especially if you have a Malfurion or something to help maintain your mana pool, it definitely is very good. I mean, more Maws is good. If you want to look at it as just like Maw utility and don't constantly spam your abilities and just kind of like have that for more Maws, it definitely has its place and it can be used in those kind of scenarios. But I personally, well, Volatile Acid, no. No is the answer. Ventral Sacs, no. Personally, this game, we're going to be going Endless Creep. This is just further creep spread, more health pool on the tumors. But I typically get Rapid Incubation just to help with my mana and health. That's a 3-second channel. It'll give you 25% of your mana pool and your health pool back. It just helps you have that sustainability to keep pushing forward, keep your mana up. Because, again, I like to spam my abilities a lot, and I like to use those Hydras every single moment I can. I like to push with Banelings. And I run out of mana, even without Battle Momentum, so Rapid Incubation does help with that. Looking at level 10, we do have Devouring Maw. That is going to be the pick. Nidus Network, fun. You can play around with it, but I really don't suggest it. Maw is just way too impactful to give up. When we get to level 13, there's 2 differences here. Now, we're going to look, Bile Drop, not really all that good. In theory, can give you more burst. Giant Killer has its place when there are multiple tanks, big health pools on the enemy team. They have Asmodin, Diablo, Stitches. Heck yeah, I'm going to be grabbing Giant Killer because they all have such beefy health pools, and that gives you bonus damage based on their max health. And, of course, Spell Shield. If you're really worried about getting blown up, I mean, Zagara is kind of a backliner as it is. I don't know if I'd ever really pick up Spell Shield. But looking at these 2 options, the Mutalisk is basically turns your Hydra into a Muta. Of course, all of your minions do benefit from that creep, but the Mutalisk can pass across terrain. They fly, so they will fly over the lanes. They will continue to chase those enemies and dish out that damage, and they have the bounce, kind of like StarCraft 2 or Brood War. The Mutalisks, their attack bounces and hits multiple enemies. So that's quite nice. So they're better at lane clear in that sense, and they also made it so that Mutalisks do not expire when their target disappears or dies or whatever. Because if you throw a Hydralisk onto Tassadar and he uses Dimensional Shift and goes invisible, your Hydralisk will just burrow. He's like, well, my target's gone. I have nothing to fight. I'm done. Peace, guys. And he leaves. Well, the Mutalisk doesn't have that problem. The Mutalisk will stick around and it will just retarget something else and continue fighting until its duration is expired or it dies. But if you know that there's not a lot of targets that are going to be able to disappear like that or get out of your range constantly, and there's going to be secured fights where your team has a lot of control and you just want the additional damage, that's when you go for the Groove Spine. The Hunter Killer gets an increased range by 35% and the damage increased by 20%, so yes, the overall damage, especially single target damage, goes up with this talent. and it's very strong in the situation where you know you can maximize the damage of that Hydra and not have it get terrible pathing issues and all that stuff. Baneling Massacre, again, the Baneling talents, they're not really worth your time. There's some fun stuff you can do with them, but I advise you avoid them. Brood Expansion is probably what you're going to go for, no matter if you get Hydras or the increased upgrade on your, or the Mutalisk upgrade. Brood Expansion is just super good because you get 2. 2 is twice as good, right? I mean, pretty logical. And if you want to have a silly good time, if you're going the creep build, you can grab Metabolic Boost. I don't think this is required for the creep build, but it is really fun because 40% movement speed is actually ridiculous. So you just zoom around through your creep highway and no one can catch you at all. It's really silly. And Stone Skin, again, you're going to be in the back line. You don't really need to spec into this. You should have enough options to try to stay alive. But I will say the one time you're going to spec into one of those generic options for survivability, that's level 20, and Bolt of the Storm is likely going to be what you want to grab in most games. Now, Fury of the Storm is actually really fun. It has a lot of potential. That's just non-heroic damage, or is actually no, they changed. Yeah, I'm thinking of the other one, right? No, okay, yeah. So the bonus damage is only to the minions and mercenaries. Still, it's kind of neat. Bolt, though, it's kind of hard to give up. I pretty much just always grab Bolt because of how good of a talent it is. And Zagara is kind of fat. So if you do get hooked, that Bolt will just save your life. There's a lot of good things that you can do with Bolt of the Storm to get out of those crappy situations. Now I just realized Twitch title totally has not been updated, so I'm gonna update that real quick. Alright, well, that has been updated. It does hit the champion for 200. Okay, good. Thank you for the clarification there. Let's get some tunes on. Oh, the in-game music. Let's get the voices, too. So nice. And we're going to watch a replay. This one was submitted by Venarian here in the chat, who's actually just hanging out. We're going to watch this game. Now, we attempted to watch this yesterday. Like I said, we wanted to do this show on Wednesday. But alas, Twitch got demolished. And here we go into the first replay of the day, taking a quick look at the talents or the heroes that we have playing in this game. We got Gelomancer playing as Vala. I shoot lasers. I'm going to be playing Rhaegar Ulf on Uther. That's a very apt Uther name. Dragonhorn on Jaina, not as apt. Satat playing the cow, Mr. ETC. And on the red side, we do have Kvelertak playing as Lily, Lick My Ash on Nova, Justin on Sonya, Jim on Zagara, and Darkside playing Tyrande. Zagara is our focus. We're going to watch this creep. He's even starting the creep spread already. He's like, the gates aren't even open, but I'm just going to put this here because I can. It's going to make me go faster for like half a second, and it's going to be great. Did it say Chen Stormstead on the bottom? Gosh, I am dropping the ball today, guys. That's okay. Zagara isn't really all that we care about. Chen's not even in this game, so rip that. And you can see the nice positioning on the creep tumors. Middle of the map, we do have a bit of a scuffle, but Zagara only cares about covering these options. Putting those creep tumors down in positions where you don't have vision. So you put them in these vents where you cannot see, and that provides vision. Also provides you that mobility. So he knows he can't be flanked from this backline because he can just watch his minimap. Vala did destroy that with multi-shot. Vala has this constant quest to blow that up. And you can just see like the damage of the Hydra and just the damage of Zagara in general has already forced Gelomancer to hit that first tap on the well. Jim putting the roaches in a just kind of a zoning position. He wants to be like, hey, I want these to just kind of help scout out. And Jello's going to start on this. There goes the Hydra. And immediately, like, Jello's in a bad spot. He's running to where there's already creep. The Hydra's connecting, dishing out some damage, and continuing the chase. And he did manage to stop him from mounting initially. The roaches did actually dismount him here in the top, so nicely done. Just using those roaches for vision across the map. And he's continuing to keep that creep spread moving on forward. He's got 5 coins picked up from that chest. He dominated that. The bottom lane is losing experience soak, and Uther just got picked off as well. So right now the red team's looking great. They've got 2 kills. They're getting 5 coins turned in by Jim. Jim's got the lockdown on vision here in the bottom lane, and they are continuing to push in on the middle. And it's always good to push in the middle, because if you look at Blackheart's Bay, pushing in on the middle is very beneficial since the first turn in. Oh, Dragon Horn! You're going to get blown up. Nicely done here by our two supports, dishing out that damage. But yes, the first siege will in fact be on the middle lane. So if you can destroy one tower, one tower, the wall, one structure, that will actually secure a kill on that first fort with the first turn in. So 10 coins gets you a fort if you're able to do that. Looking at the builds though, he's picking up Tumor Clutch. Now he doesn't have any mana to spend. He doesn't have to spend mana when he uses those tumors, and he has a 10-second reduced cooldown for the tumor in general. So his creep spread capability just skyrocketed because it doesn't cost him anything, and that cooldown is so much lower. 10 seconds is so much. Ulf is gonna potentially die. The Hunter's Mark goes down, but no, the self-heal Satat is very low in the middle. Justin. Oh. Too far? Too far? No, the Lily heals the Whirlwind. Whirlwind hitting all these minions, healing him up so quickly. And that's just a hard lane to kill. Nova, the worst lane clearer in the game, just sitting there. Lily is boomer, she's going home, and Zagara has continued to do the Zerg life where she just swarms this bottom lane. Uther has fallen again? Okay. I mean, this is the best case scenario for Zagara. When a Zagara can just sit there in the bottom lane and just push uncontested without any worry in the world, you just kind of set up your nice little creep highway and you just push in. And you're going to outpush pretty much any hero. Like, in theory, some like Chen, Tyrael, there are people that can go toe-to-toe with Zagara to some extent, and of course other specialists like Gazlo can do a solid job. But still, Vala is actually going to struggle with that. And Satat is likely going to get blown up. Lunar Flare does not connect, but it does get Dragon Horn. And Dragon Horn does get hit by that little green particle coming out from Lily's bug net. So nice. So nice, those green particles. Oh, the Hydra will expire as it just face plants into that wall, desperately trying to hug its Vala friend. And Jim is getting this creep spread. He's going to have full vision on those mercenaries. Red team, they don't even have to turn in. They've plowed through this wall. That fort is going to die so quickly if they do ultimately end up turning in. And Jim, oh, he's gonna get this creep highway all the way to Blackheart, so that when he goes and collects these 5 coins, he's just going to have like a zipper doodah day walking on up there, or whatever that means. So looking at the talents, though, it is a very standard burst Sonya. We're going for Shot of Fury, the double burst talents here. Jaina just lost her life again to that burst of our Barbarian, and almost able to pick up that kill. If there was a Lunar Flare available, surely would have picked up the nice kill. Uther trying to get some push for his team. Ulf just doing Ulf things, but those 5 coins, they were stolen. Jim didn't get any of them. He got bullied back, and that's something that is, you know, our Rhaegar player really excels in. Rhaegar in general on this map can just roam around and collect those coins in such a safe manner. Lily does have the 5 from the top though, and she is gonna get them turned in if, yeah, the lightning shield is actually in cooldown. So his only option was to have already been in wolf form and then pop that lightning shield onto a earthgrass totem that you throw down their face, or just a earth totem. But no, not going to be an option. Jim posturing, gonna go for these guys, but he does have 2 friends nearby, and he can see them. Oh, dig my doubloons. Okay, Lily, good. Nova does miss her snipe, and that will signal Nova to back off. The creep spread will resume. Jim is very low on mana, and they're just doing their best to continue removing this creep. Now, Jaina, she can throw down the Blizzard. Vala has multi-shot to remove it. But Jim, I mean, he's got eyes on. Every time Dragonhorn walks in here, he's just going to have complete vision because of these tumors, and he just throws down this Hydra, who just forces them back. So it's just allowing him to be very safe all the time, even though they're right under his nose. And when they black him out like that, I mean, he does have vision. He's like, okay, well, Vala's still here. She destroyed it. I know no one else is down there, and it's still very safe. ETC does fall level 11 to 9. I mean, red team is looking great, and he's just going to get that tumor down for the vision once again. And we can see the damage done from that turn in. A lot of damage here. Top is completely exposed, and they are going to potentially go for a Gang Persistent Strike with the Ancient Spear. Goes in, but Rhaegar gets the heal from his Uther friend. The double support meta has been a thing for quite a while for a reason. It's so hard to get a kill, even with the nicely executed, you know, try to jump there. Not going to be enough. Lick my Ash. Missing the snipe again. This could be lights out for our Ash Licker. Now, Ash, of course, is a hero in League of Legends, and oh, the Jugs are getting those heals on multi-shot coming out from behind. They're getting flanked. The red team is currently in a tight spot. Where is our Zagara hiding in a Nidus Network? We talked about that being a pretty uncommon talent. Typically we see Maw, but no, Nidus Network was picked up in this game at level 10. That level 10 advantage is here. The blue team is so very close. If they had been 10 already, this would have been horrendously bad for red, but they're going to be able to pick up those kills because of that advantage. The heroics just coming through. Jugs, the cups on Lily, so very powerful, so much healing potential. And, well, this is going to signal Jim to actually just creep up down here. I mean, the goal of the game is to creep up as hard as you can. And there he goes, creeping up behind enemy lines. Rhaegar sitting on 12 coins. And they have not turned in a single coin yet on the blue team. And that is plenty. No, it's Ash Liquor. Liam, Ash Liquor. All right, Jim decides he wants to get his mana back. He's going to be hearthing home. He's going to restore his mana. Red team. They've got all this vision. They've got all the vision in the world because of Zagara. I mean, look at the map. You can see on the mini-map, it's like a bright pink. But in terms of the bottom half of the map, they've got this massive highway. And that provides so much safety, especially to the turn-in. And now the chests have spawned once again. Red team posturing, but Jaina is here. Jaina's not going to be quite enough. Volok thinking about clearing the top lane wave, going to be making her way down, and there is going to be a bit of a collapse here. The dance going off, connecting with two members down here, but it's only Ult and ETC. That's not enough damage. The precision strike connecting. Nova does end up falling heroically, goes in, and that's 12 coins. The ancestral heal will be true, keeping him alive, and I believe Sona, yes, is going to fall. This is really a tight spot. Zagara has not been here for any of this action. It doesn't have Maw, so I don't know how much it would have mattered, but they are backing on up. Jim gonna put that creep term down, but he has to realize he is completely outnumbered, and this is such a risky situation. Rhaegar gonna bully him out. ETC there. Yeah, that is time to leave Jim, and he's just gonna put down a creep tumor. Very good. Rhaegar on this map is ridiculous. Yes, very true. You can see he's got those 16 coins. He wants to get that turn in. He is just trying and trying and trying. His team doing a nice job zoning for him. But the Mutalisk with the bounce has been actually, interrupting him. Finally, I think he's going to get it. No, Lunar Flare will connect. Blizzard's going down, dishing out a lot of damage. That wave comes out in a big Rain of Vengeance, but only the first shot went off. A beautiful Sentinel, but no. Finally, Rhaegar gets his turn in, so that's what they wanted. They trade one member for their first turn in of the game, getting those 10 coins off from Rhaegar, who was sitting on 16, and the Lunar Flare connects. Ancient Spear whiffs. Oh no, tragic. But we do have the Jugs healing up the team. Look at this creep spread. Jim has actually just took it through the rest of the map at this point in time, and that's the power of the creep build. The Hydras, they get that increased mobility. Whoever that was, Vala just got annihilated, coins being collected. And it's not only safety, but it's just, I almost think the Nidus is like actually ridiculous considering how much creep spread there is, because it's like not even needed. You have all this additional mobility from that creep spread, so it's like why Nidus? But it's still working out for him. Getting vision with that, you can cast the Nidus across the map. He had vision with the creep tumor, so he just threw Nidus down just to be obnoxious. Nicely done, and they will be able to pick up a pack of bruisers while Jim makes his way down to creep up some more. One turn-in will remove this. They need 5 coins. Checking the coin count, they're sitting on more than 5. They're actually sitting on twice 5, and there is the turn-in. So yes, the top 4 is going to end up falling, and the red team is pushing hard here in the bottom lane. Satatat is going to top it well, healing up the best he can. We see the Mercs pushing down the top. Those bruisers were acquired. Some coins being collected. Of course, we have the creep vision. The creep finally starting to expire on the left side of the map. But Zagara is not done spreading that creep. Jim is going to keep looking for more places to put his creep, and he will expand it to the best of his ability. Starfall dishing out that damage. A few cannonballs did hit this bottom fort, and they're looking to finish it off. Nova unloading a bit. A nice dance. Just connecting with 2, and then the Ancestral will be on point. That Rain of Vengeance is going to secure this kill on Lilia. Nice. Oh my goodness, the double healer is too strong. We do have the Shrink Ray pull in from the rest of the team, and Justin not going to be able to survive even with his double support friends. just a little bit too far forward, and shoot in mobile. Wind Shrink Ray hits you, and Mutalisk doing his best to do that. Nova, so sad to lose his ally, but the rest of the team needs to be careful. Only Jim gets that bonus move between. Nice Lunar Flare connecting, but this is still a 4v5, so blue team is poised to push on in, and they want to turn this around. They want to pick up some kills and catch up that level. Level 16 to level 14. We see the Mutas, and now we have the double Mutalisk, the Brute expansion. We got to remember those Mutalisks do get the increased mobility on this map when they have the creep underneath them. On any map where they have the creep underneath them, really. And we do have Nova clearing up this top lane. So, blue team finally backing off. Zagara putting creep anywhere he can. Jim is just all about spreading his creep because that is his life. That is his goal in life. And he's doing a nice job with that. We do see iShoot's lasers cleaning up that the Nidus network finally. And the Sentinel will find Satatat and disrupt his turn in, but can the red team stop this again? Lunar Flare will connect. There go out the wins. The rest of the team is not here. Zagara could easily throw down a Nidus network and make her way down. She does have an opening up here in the top. Just needs to get a bottom one somewhere around here so that he can be down there to assist. We see the Precision Strike was used. Oh, nicely done by Satata blocking that. 2 coins turn in. Will get this turn in. Finally, blue team does succeed. And Zagara, well, he's spreading that creep. He's making sure he's got all the creep spread in the world. And this is wonderful. There's creep everywhere on the map. And the red team, they're going to be picking up some cruisers of their own. Looking at the spawn timers, another minute here on these guys. The bottom giants being picked up by iShoot lasers. And Zagara is on that mission to have vision of the entire map whenever possible. Hey, here's a watchtower. We already have it. Nope, let's put creep timbers around it to make sure that they can't reclaim it. And of course, as Uther does that, that sweet vision they're getting is so beneficial. Bottom fort has collapsed to these giants, but blue team, they finally picked up this top fort. Middle fort has been down for quite a while. So this game is actually quite even, and here are the chests spawning. Vala got blown up. Tarana got blown up. I'm missing all the action here in the bottom lane. iShoot Laser is going to get shot with lasers. Is Precision Strike still available on Nova? It is, and there it is. Boom, baby, boom. Ancestral not going to be enough to save his life today. And the heal's coming up from Lily, and that's going to be 5 coins from the bottom chest. Top chest being collected by Arsonia, but she is by herself in a 2v1 situation where she is backing off. Creep life. Very good. Getting that Nidus. Going to the top. Going to spread more creep. Very good, Jim. I am proud of you. I'm very proud of you. The damage coming out from that clone, just warding off that cow. That is how you ward cows. You throw clones in their face. And then we do have the turn-in happening. So the third turn-in of the game for our red team. It will be bombarding upon the enemy team and going to finally start to chip away at the back wall in the middle lane.
Fire, you blackguards!
Cat aggro has been relieved. And Jim is continuing to push forward with his creep spread. Now, level 20, it'll be interesting to see what he goes for, because Bolt of the Storm is a thing, but it's actually very likely he's going to do something really weird and pick up the level 20 talent here for the Nidus network. We will find out. Jellomancer, they're going to find this Nidus and blow it up. Oh! Oh my god! We have to watch that again. We have to watch that again. Numpsta 5, yes, the chests do spawn at a rather random interval. It is annoying, but RNGesus, behold. Look at this, look at this, look at this. The Ancestral goes off, and Jim continues to fight. He's got the double Hydras. Nova comes up, and then the Sentinel from downtown. So beautiful. Jim goes in there for protection and just pops out. He could just, you know, could have stayed and used his Nidus network to go back there, but he decides to come out just to show, man, I'm a baller, and I can do what I want. And he's going to pop back into that Nidus, go back across the map, and maybe help his allies with this boss? No, he says no. My job is to spread creep and nothing else. And I appreciate that. You've got to spread your creep. You've got to be a strong, independent broodmother. And just push on forward. Bottom lane, Precision Strike will connect with the Tatat. And we're going to blow up this bottom fort. Pushing on in. All forts of the game have been eliminated, but a boss has been picked up. There is a creep highway that the boss cannot benefit from. And Ulf is currently battling Mutalisks on creep, and that's never a good thing to do. Nova going to finish off that tower with a snipe, utilizing that cooldown. We do see a lot of pinging happening, so Nova, well aware of this. Jaina, who was not aware of her, one more shot, that'll do it. Bottom lane does have bruisers pushing down, so they have to be wary of that. They could utilize the Nidus network to push down there, but this boss is still at about 70-80% health. Coin situation. We're looking at level 20 coin situation, not enough to turn in. And looking at the 20 talents, we do see the Fury of the Storm was picked up. So now Zagara hits a little bit harder. Bonus attack with that Nexus Frenzy, or Fury of the Storm, excuse me. It will be nice, but we also have the 1 million cups on Lily. We've got the Bolt for Nova, which is surprising. Typically, we see double Precision Strike or Rewind, opting to play a more defensive style, and then, of course, the Storm Shield here for our Tyrande. But no, they did get the turn in. They must have collected coins somewhere, or I failed at mapping. And either way, that will finish off this middle keep, and then I think it's going to get the top keep as well. So this puts the red team in a really advantageous position. If they're spending all this time trying to eliminate this creep, that is just going to keep being everywhere. Like Zagara doesn't stop. It's just going to keep creeping. We do have our Barbarian grabbing some Giants. This guy. Yeah, that's going to die. 2 more shots. That's going to be enough. The clone, gonna dissipate. Lunar Flare not connecting with anything. Have to be careful here. There goes the keep. The last shot. Boom. And very good. Moving it down here, we do have the Sonya with the Giants. Jaina did lose her life. You can see her Archmage staff just kind of dissipating into the night. Nova trying to turn in those coins, gonna be successful. And we do have Vala rotating down. They have not managed to hit level 20 yet, level 21 to 19. This Zagara creep build has actually provided just a lot of vision and just damage in general. I mean, we can look at the stats finally. We haven't looked at them all game. 30,000 damage. I mean, he's number 3 on his team, but it's still like very sufficient when you consider that he's been spending a lot of time just getting vision across the map. Now, Vala did get picked off. Red team just constantly getting those kills. They're actually 18 kills to 4. And having this vision and having that mobility of Zagara has worked out for him. And look at his ability. He's not even speccing it to damage other than the Mutalisks. And he's still able to go toe-to-toe with so many heroes. He's going to pick up that kill. The dance was baited out. And the Muta's just like, yeah, we did it. We did it. I'm a Mutalisk. Yeah, oh, bye. And yes, there he's going to be picking up some more coins, pushing that count further forward. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Math, science. They only need 6. Esports. Yes, they're going to get the turn in, and that will solidify the last keep of the game for our red team, I think. Oh, more deaths. Uther got wrecked. Turn-in's going to happen here real quick. That's still not enough. You need one more, my friend Tyrande. Is Barbarian going to deliver that final coin? There go the Mutabros. Mutabros doing what Mutabros do best. I cannot zoom in, apparently. Dishing out that damage. Catapults pushing down the top lane. And we do have that final coin being turned in by Barbarian. She finally got the picture. I got 2 coins. I only need 1. Let's do it. Ooh, Zagara Vision. OP, says Sonya. Jim's like, damn straight. Okay. Got blown up a little bit there. Vala. Nicely done by our Nova player. And yes, this will finally take out the last keep of the game. The red team, they've got 3 members down on the opposing side. The Lunar Flare and the Ancient Spear going forward. The Ancestral does connect, and the Starfall is just going to ruin these enemies. Nicely zoned. If they pushed it forward a little bit, so it would continuously hit the core, that would have been a nice move. You just inch it forward a little bit. Has the same effect of zoning and damage output, really, when it boils down to it, but you know it's going to continue hitting that core no matter what. Even if it doesn't get to the shields, it's just like a nice thing to always try to do if you can. And well, they need 20 coins for the next turn, and they actually don't get that keep because I'm a fool and they didn't have any structure damage done to that wall. But the 5 coins will be turned in. The boss is going to be spawning in 30 seconds, and Zagara is creeping it up to get that vision, get that presence. Lunar Flare just being thrown out wildly, and the team is just finally starting to try to push back this creep. They don't like fighting entry. If you've ever played StarCraft 2, you hate fighting on creep against the enemy Zerg. It's actually terrifying. And that's kind of how this is. It's like, okay, well, the enemy Zerg can see my entire army right now. This sucks, and they also move faster on it. And that's pretty much what the enemy team is experiencing this creep everywhere. The Mutalisks just chase you for days. The roaches are like, Godspeed. You just can't run away. And they're going to pick up these giants. Jim, no interest in helping with that. Only interest is spreading creep, 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 baby. And this creep spread, yeah, those tumors dissipate. I forget the timer. It's like 3 minutes, but they dissipate, and I should know that. By dissipate, I mean they melt. Now, we do have Eye Shoot lasers going forward, but I don't know if this was the right call. He should have Ancestral Healing, and there it goes, and we'll keep him alive. The Mutalisks wisp away into space. And, oh, look at these coins. Jim's like, oh, yeah, get paid. It's like finding a $20 bill on the ground. So nice. Jim's thinking about it, but no. He's just going to keep those tumors down. Oh, the dance coming out. Justin, he needs Whirlwind. He needs it now. Heroic Leap. Whirlwind, where is it? No, Justin is going to end up falling. Blue team finally catches a break, picks up a couple kills. They're going to be able to blow up these bottom giants, and they're going to just barely save. Yes, they are going to save their keep. Congrats to them. Zagara, though, doesn't care. Zagara has creep tumors to put down. He's got to continue pushing forward. We've got that Fury of the Storm to push these waves back so very quickly, but Zagara does have the safety creep highway going everywhere. He's got vision on them constantly. Hey, ETC, guess what? I see you, so I know I'm safe to do what I want. Let me go make sure I go sit in my watchtower. I've got 6 coins to turn in. That's not enough, but hey, the chests have spawned. That's a thing. And that's what Zagara will do. Make his way over to the chests, pick up the nice first chest, and utilize that. Now, sitting on those 10 coins, they need 15. The bottom chest being picked up. Does this mean that we have enough? Oh, I think it does. That is, in fact, more than enough coins to get the next turn in, which will finally, ultimately, definitely finish off the bottom keep. But ETC doesn't want to just give it to them. The Hydralisk comes out. There's the Water Elemental, and the nice Storm Shield coming out from Tirana. But that Precision Strike will ruin Jaina's life. And so Tatat will end up falling. I don't know why I say his name like that, but I like saying his name like that. 240 seconds, which is 4 minutes. Okay, very good. Thank you, Fairgrim. That is, in fact, the duration of a tumor. Heroic Leap did go in. We have Justin trying to put on this pressure. That Shrink Ray is going to limit his mobility. A big Divine Hurricane as soon as the Hunter's Mark comes out. So that will prevent them from being able to blow him up and utilize that 25% increased damage. But does it matter? Zagara is in your base, just doing Zagara things. Planting down creep tumors in your base. The core says, I want none of that, and destroys it. And if Jim doesn't get down more creep at the end of the game, I will be so disappointed. Completely bungled game. He didn't put down anywhere near enough creep tumors. Shame on you, Jim. Well played. No, that was a very fun game. I mean, just the power of vision, the power of control, and the creep build provides that. And it's nice on Blackhearts. I wouldn't even say it's the best map. It's definitely very good. I mean, you saw the effectiveness in that early game where the creep spread just allowed him to do whatever the heck he wanted because he knew he was safe. He just knew he was safe. So Venarian, Jim, thank you for the replay, my friend. And that was our first game of the day, but it's not the only game of the day. I guess this says Chen Boys, and we need to fix that. The daily quest number 12. Zagara creep build. Very good. And we will quit this replay and get into the next one right quick. Now, the next game was submitted from a pro player, Mr. K1 Pro of Cloud9 Maelstrom. Now, he's a guy that does very much like to play Zagara, and he likes the creep style. So I reached out to him. I was like, hey, can you just send me a random replay of a game that you thought was really fun where you utilize Zagara and creep spread? And I've got high hopes for this. He could have just literally grabbed a random replay and threw it to me. We're going to find out because I don't ever check these because I'm terrible at hosting shows, right? I don't ever check these. I just assume that you guys are sending me sick matches. And I'm going to get that replay loaded up in just a second. Bam! Loading so quick. The power of technology. I literally just opened up the email right now and just clicked download and play. And it's just, I love modern technology. So good. Oh, as we go flying across the screen, we can't switch over to the map, and it's going to be Cursed Hollow this game. And we can actually see, well, we're actually looking at Cloud9. So we're actually looking at a full Cloud9 Maelstrom roster. We're actually going to be privileged enough to watch this. And who are they facing? Well, that is none other than Tuark. So Furious D, Panucci, Trader, Dead Poetic, and Chubbs. That is, essentially Tuark. And on the side of Maelstrom, it's going to be King Caffeine, Biceps, iDream, K1 Pro, and Dunk Drain. That's Cloud9 Maelstrom. So this is going to be in the hands of some of the best players in the world. Both of these teams are in the ESL playoffs. I mean, Tuark is sitting at that second place position right now, and Cloud9 Maelstrom are sitting at fourth place. So these guys are at the absolute top of competitive Heroes of the Storm, and we're going to see how this Zagara build actually, you know, fares, especially on a map like Cursed Hollow. I'm fairly certain this is a quick match game and not a tournament match, but all things considered, these teams play to get better, they play to win. And I guess the only thing to take from that is there was no drafting involved, and they don't know what map they're playing on. So those are the only things to consider when they go into the game. But this is obviously a composition that they think can do some cool stuff with. Kind of a blow-up comp with Kirio going forward with that Judgment, Lunar Flare follow-up, and then just the damage output from Tassadar, Tychus, and Zagara. But the weird thing is Kirio's their tank, and Tyrande and Tassadar are their support. So that's the interesting parts of this game. But we're just going to keep a close eye on the Zagara, and the creep spread has already begun, utilizing the tumors as often as possible. And you'll notice that it does affect his mana in the early game, but he's got this really nice creep spread, and he's mainly worried about covering his flanks. Like, it's nice to put it in your lane, but he wants vision for anyone trying to rotate, and he's really just maximizing the creep for it in terms of a ward. So yeah, it's great to like have all the extra health regen, especially when you're speccing the tumor into it, but having the safety net of information as to any time the enemy team tries to push forward with the ward, I mean, that's what it boils down to. And the Lunar Flare does connect on to Chubb. It's going to dish out a good chunk of damage, but yes. And someone in the chat says it has to be quick match. Two Tyrandas, you make a good point. You make a good point. I should have noticed that sooner. But anyways, just confirming it, this is a quick match. Lunar Flare will connect with that one tumor. The Dead Poetic doing what he can to, you know, zone that back. And you'll notice that the creep has notified K1 Pro that the Anubarak was coming, but Anubarak is still a pretty predictable hero. Dodging, nicely done by iDream. Oh, he's gonna win these Tyrande battles, but no Sentinel gonna be able to come out. K1 Pro is going to jump back, tap the well, get his mana back up, and level 4 has been achieved, so Tumor Clutch picked up. That allows him to spread this creep much more freely. No longer cost him mana, 10 seconds less on cooldown, and he's spreading that out. And we're gonna push forward a little bit in this game. We're just gonna see what happens. Because so far the early game's gonna be kinda, yeah, this is happening, that's cool, Lunar Flare, nice. But we want to get to that first tribute spawn, which is just about now, and we'll let the teams rotate up, and we'll see what the Zagara does. So, just spreading that creep and not actually rotating. Chubb's trying to hearth back. He wants to get full mana, then he wants to phase shift into the battle on the tribute. But it looks like K1 Pro is actually just going to stick around. So this is likely, yeah, this is definitely Cloud9 Maelstrom saying, look, we're not actually going to contest the first tribute. You guys can have it. That's all you. Caffeine nearly picks up a kill onto Trader, but Zagara is now soaking in the bottom lane where the red team is not. So Maelstrom is winning in terms of soak. They are a little bit behind, and they're doing a nice job delaying this. Oh, this is really aggressive by Caffeine. The grenade should be able to finish off this kill, even with the heals. Oh, Tyrande does. Okay, comes up. Caffeine will trade out 1-for-1, and with Brightwing phase shifting in, this is going to be a full retreat. iDream is not going to be able to get out of the situation. Dunk Train is going to be the one to live, but the soak has been here. So even though they just lost a few members, the kills are 2-1 in favor of Tuark. Maelstrom has been soaking all 3 lanes. Dunk, tried to stall this out and will pay with his life. Actually, no, he might be able to get away. That's Tassadar. Who am I kidding? But look at this. Zagara just pushing. They've taken that advantage forward now. They've got about a half-level lead, and they've got the structure advantage. Now, Trader trying to soak up those kills. He's got Taste for Blood, so what he wants to do is he wants to soak up as many minion kills as possible because he gets stronger throughout the glaive and powers up the Global Annihilation as time goes on. But he's still kind of weak at this point, so it's hard to get the killing blows with it because until it actually starts to get a little bit stronger, until you hit 10 and you have that black pool to sit on top of and increase your damage, well, it's tough to do that without the assistance of lane clear from a Vala or a Jaina or something of that sort. He doesn't really have any of that. He just has the Whirlwind or the Arcane Flare from Brightwing. K1 Pro just continuing that creep spread. I mean, if we look at the bottom lane, It's all about having vision and control over whatever kind of flanks, and he's just taking multiple paths, and especially with the tribute spawning here, like that's a great situation. He goes back to base, restores his mana as he knows the tribute is about to happen, and he gets here just in time to put down more tumors and actually start capping this. And they do have the Sentinel and the Globe of Annihilation. Globe hits him first. Sentinel will likely be used second. No, not going to be cast in time, and K1 Pro will in fact get this tribute just before the Arcane Flare does connect. You see the Sentinel was sent out. They were planning on timing them together. They expected the Arcane Flare to be able to hit there, but no success with that. Biceps has to back out. K1 Pro gets hit by the Sonya. The Burrow Charge connecting. And sitting on his creep, tapping that well, he's going to be able to come back to battle because he will kill very quickly while standing on top of his own creep. And with Endless Creep picked up, that creep spreads further, faster, and is harder to remove. And this is actually a very even situation. Should remove this General Hell if you can. That buffs the minions around it. You don't really just want to let it live, especially when it's at its last leg like that. And oh, the big Globe of Annihilation as they are trying to rotate up to pick up this kill on Chubbs. If he phase shift, does he have phase shift available? He does. So he actually could have phase shifted in that situation where they got hit with the Globe because he was in a safe spot. And he's probably going to die since he didn't use it when he did. Poly goes out. Lunar Flare will be juked. Nicely done. Hunter's Mark, grenade. He's going to get away. There. That's actually amazing. Well done, Chubbs. And the Lunar Flare will miss Dunk Train, so, you know, just kind of trading blows across the map right now. The creep spread's still kind of ridiculous for our Zagara, and level 10 has been picked up, but Tuark is right behind him. K1 Pro is likely going to have to pick up Maul right now and throw it down to stay alive. He hasn't selected his talent, and no, he's not going to be able to do it in time. It likely would have died either way, but no, that's a pretty unfortunate situation. Prolib going in Dunk Train with the Dimensional Shift going off just in time to Dogfight. Throws the shield on himself, and he picks up Force Wall? Oh, this game just got weird. I was not expecting to see Force Wall, but you pair Force Wall with Maw, and you can do some silly, silly things. So we're going to be in for a treat, I think. The Laser Drill doing a nice job zoning. It dished out some damage, but Caffeine is separated from the majority of his team. iDream going to throw down that Starfall, which will zone them out for a little bit of time, and this is allowing Zagara to potentially catch up. The General of Hell not able to connect with that. They're continuing to stall at this tribute, and they're going to miss Furious D with that, and I don't think Sentinel's going to be there in time. Oh, the Judgment is used to knock them off. Law being used to try to pick off Furious D. There's the Hunter's Mark, but the heals are coming up from right wing. The dash forward with Ancient Spear, and it's going to be a kill onto the Tychus player while Furious D stays alive. We are now underwater because of that web wrap, so it's very disorienting, so bear with me. And iDream Emerald Wind goes off a little bit early, not doing a whole lot. K1 Pro doesn't want to go into this pocket because he will surely die. This tribute still hasn't been picked up. We see the Hunter's Mark going off. Sentinel dishing out some damage. K1 Pro gonna end up dying. Oh, what? Fight. I'm so glad he sent us this replay because this game is turning out to be pretty darn ridiculous. The quick smack games that we've missed, I can't even imagine how good some of them have been. Biceps going to consider, and yes, using the smite to stall that out. Tychus has returned to battle. Dunk Train, Biceps in the front line. They're pretty low. Hunter's Mark cooldown, I'm not sure what it is. From Oakland goes in from Furious D. The grenade dishing out some damage. The shields from Tester come out, and Furious D is going to fall. Biceps with Hunter's Mark, they can blow turret up very quickly, and that's exactly what they will do. But now look how low their health bars are. Where are the Hunter's Marks? What are the timers? iDream, he's got 1 second. There it goes. The second it's ready, he uses it because he knows how desperately his team needs it. This is going to allow them Force Wall, zoning Panucci out, but not all the way. If the Lunar Flare connected on the edge, that would have been massive. And Dunk gonna back on out. A very aggressive Laser Drill gonna connect with Panucci. Judgment securing the kill, and they're pushing Chubbs on back. This Zagara spread is like everywhere, providing them that vision, but it's really just, it's helping K1 Pro stay alive so much because they need that health regen, and it's giving them that. They're pushing forward onto this bottom fort, and with the Healing Ward, I mean, Healing Ward is getting so much value. They have double Healing Ward, 3% healing every second for 10 seconds. It's 30% of your health pool, and every single hero that stays in it for the entire duration. Bottom fort of the game will be the first fort to fall in this game, but we can look at Aspen's stacks. He's trying to farm up. He's only managed to grab 40 bonus damage, and that's incredibly low, and that's entirely because of how much time he's had to spend fighting over tributes. He's been in these fights, fighting, and not able to stay in lane, because if you stay in lane, you lose. And that tribute fight was so incredibly long that, well, he's not farming stacks. So very low. He's desperately trying to increase that as he pushes forward with the Black Pool, and it'll start to raise rather quickly when he's able to sit and do his thing. And you see it's up to 54 at this point. Boss picked up for Cloud9 Maelstrom. Tuark has started the other boss, and I don't think they can get there in time. We might see something crazy with Judgment. Time will tell. King Caffeine doing his best to initiate here, but where's that Judgment? Where is it? It needs to be there now, and it's gonna be there just in time. Web Wrap goes off. Biceps is sitting on that point, but Emerald Wind will bully him off and kill him. Now the Maw has picked up so many members. Lunar Flare gonna connect with pretty much all of them. A nice Starfall in wall, and they just decimate Tuark. What a ridiculous play. The Judgment didn't manage to steal. Oh, they did steal the boss. What? I'm watching that again. I'm actually watching that again. That I thought for sure the Emerald Wind pushed them off. Who got back on the point? Okay. The Force Wall. Oh my god. Alright, boss is about to fall. Yeah, there it is, and here comes that clutch Force Wall, forcing the Maw. Okay, it was the Maw, and then they cap it, and then the Force Wall, completely solidifying this position, getting all 5 members blown up. Oh my goodness, that is the power of Maw. That was good. That was good. That was real good. Some impressive stuff. I mean, this is why we like watching K1 for Zagara. He does ridiculous things. They're cleaning up this middle lane. They're throwing down. They've got this boss, and now they've got a curse. So now we have Cloud9 with this double boss curse push and the power potential to. They could end the game here. Like, it's very unlikely, but if Tuark isn't careful and they lose to a fight underneath the boss, if Cloud9 did try to just kind of regroup, heal up, and take a boss fight, but that's not going to be the case. They're using the laser drill to push. If they saved that, they could have gotten a little bit more aggressive with this, but instead it's just going to turn into a very just slow cleanup by Tuark. So they have to clean up this boss. The Keep is taking a ton of damage. The other boss is at full health, marching down the top lane. The curse persists for another 30 seconds, and they have to worry about, of course, Cloud9 in the middle lane. They're pushing forward, dishing out as much damage as they can. Boss cleaned up, 20% health. Top boss, uncontested. Still 15 seconds on this curse, and we do have Cloud9 pushing in, and here they go. They're making their way up to this boss. You're going to use Hunter's Mark and whatever they can to try to blow it up very quickly. Cloud9 is still around the corner. Zagara, using those roaches to push in. They've got these minions. They've got that Hydra. That Keep is going to end up falling. Judgment goes in onto Panucci, ruining his day, ending his life, and that's a new Barak, and this boss is dishing out some good damage. There goes one Keep. Second Keep is going to end up falling. What a massive push off the first curse of the game. Oh no, Chubbs gets pulled in from that. Dunk Train is going to fall to the Heroic Fleet. And there we see, where is the laser drill? What is the timer on it? Another 15 seconds. Caffeine not going to be able to get out of this one. And Furious getting the self-heal, but is it enough? The polymorph is actually very much on point. Hydralisk dissipating at the last second. And I believe Dunk Biceps, I think they're all going to perish. Not really a whole lot they can do in this situation, but they're trying. They're trying. The Globe of Annihilation not coming out. Oh, the Ancient Spirit does miss Dunk Train. Biceps is going to get out of this. K1 Pro is doing a good job in the backline. Going to almost pick up Furious D. The Hydralisk might be able to finish the job because he has a creep. I don't think so. No, the last hit is not going to be able to do it. And K1 get a Hearth right there. Meanwhile, Dunk Train and Biceps are still alive. They're just chasing and going back in. They have no fear. I have no idea what Biceps is doing. He's so bold. He has no fear whatsoever, pushing on in, and he's going to show himself in that watchtower and just run back. Now, they bought so much time during all of that. They pushed for a long, long while, and these bosses, they'll be up in another 1 minute 30, 1 minute 60, which is actually 2 minutes. And, well, some nice stuff here. This game has been pretty intense so far. Bruisers just spawning in the top part of the map, and we can see K1 Pro and iDream revealing their position, which could signal a rotation out of the red team. But no, they're aware this is likely a trap. When they're showing, that means, hey, look, we're confident, and that means the entire blue team is in fact there. They are going to be capping those Bruisers. Red team making their way up, but with the new Barak just now respawning, they're not going to be there in time to try to stop this. Lunar Flare not going to connect with Furious D. The Sentinel finds Chubbs, but how much does it matter? There is that, oh my goodness, the Judgment followed by the wall, zoning out the rest of the team, but Emerald Wind helps mitigate that situation quite a bit. the burrow charge going forward. There's the web wrap onto Tychus, who is very low underneath. This is just buying him time. Dunk Train might be able to set up a Lunar Flare to save Panucci. And with this laser drill going to town, Dunk Train is going to do just that. He throws down the heal. The Lunar Flare disconnected. No, the grenade, the synergy wasn't there. If the Lunar Flare hit, that was a secured situation for Tychus, but he does get out. Sentinel is going to be ready very soon, and Dunk has 1 second. Yes, that's actually going to be enough with the grenade. Sentinel has been saved. We'll connect with Tyrande. Lunar Flare hitting Trader, and this is, I mean, very nicely done. That's kind of the problem with something like Web Wrap, because it actually just saved Tychus in that last fight, and Zagara has just continued to put down this pressure. This full creep build, even with Metabolic Boost, I mean, he's got so much mobility on creep. Look at him run around. He's got just as much mobility as you could ever hope for as any hero, and he's got the damage with his Grip Spine, so this Hydralisk is getting the increased damage output. Doing work. All right, King Caffeine falling back, picking up a tribute. That'll put 4-1 in terms of the total count. The Sentinel gonna try, and oh, does not end up ruining his day, but it does stop the cap. Of course, when you have Ranger here at level 16, that increases the damage done by the Sentinel based on the damage, based on the distance it traveled. And we see the core did get smacked a little bit, level 19, 217. Tychus Hearth backed home to heal up his health, and Zagara continues to be obnoxious because 40% movement speed with this massive creep highway, like, yeah, you can do whatever you want because you have a nice big safety net. All right, Tuark. They're aware of the position here. Biceps will be in Adrian being revealed by that Sentinel. Doesn't hit them, but it still shows that path. Tychus has now returned to the battle. Oracle being used, which shows Dunk and his team Cloud9. They want to get in there. They're showing off where the enemy team is positioned, and they are ready for a fight. A weird force wall goes down to try to bully them out, and Judgment follows. A lot sloppier than the previous fights, but there is that web wrap, and the laser drill did a lot of damage, but Tychus is blown up very quickly. Starfall, raining hell, the heroic leap on, but the Maw will pick up 4 members, I think, are inside of that. So what is the follow-up? There is the force wall. There is the damage going out. Oh, the shield's coming out in the last possible second onto Panucci, keeping him alive. Dunk Train has to dimensional shift to get that all shell burn off of him, and Furious D is going to end up falling. Trader is now in a bad spot. Force wall being utilized once again. Picking up a kill here on our Asmodean, and Cameron Pro using Bolt of the Storm, that level 20 talent, to get out of that situation. He's going to throw down just one auto attack with the double storms coming up from Tassadar to try to bully them back, and with Force Wall and Biceps body blocking, they're doing a lot to just continue this push. Now the Tribute has spawned in the top part of the map, but look at their health bars. They're all so very low. Biceps trying to juke them. He's going to be able to dodge that in a nice force wall to help them escape. He's just going to Hearth confidently, like, what are you going to do? You're going to walk up and Arcane Flare me? Have fun, bro. And Zagara can, of course, be a little bit more bold because that 40% movement speed. I mean, how do you stop her? You don't. That's the key. You don't. Catapults bombarding the core. We do have Mule in this game. I didn't even realize that was there because it hasn't had any real effectiveness. I guess it has helped this top lane out. But Tyrande is up there all by her lonesome. And we do have this potential rotation. Biceps and Dunk Train, they are nearby. Sentinel could stall this out if they shot it out, but no, too little too late. And Dead Poetic will pick up the second tribute of the game for the side of Tuark. Web wrap somewhere on the map here on Zagara, but it doesn't matter. Zagara's got unlimited mobility. Tyrande did fall for picking up that tribute in the top of the map. Burrow Charge going to be attempted. Lunar Flare just stunning out Chubbs, keeping K1 Pro a little bit more safe. And even that spike, okay, it does end up picking up the kill. The Beetle finished it off. And he's going to Hearth home, restore that mana, get nice and healthy. Boss is being taken aggressively across the map. And Tyrande currently just buying them time. Phase shift from Chubbs going in. They're going to get there too late to actually stop this. And it's going to force them to defend their last remaining keep because you can't just let the boss wander into your base and do whatever it wants. But we are missing Tyrande. She's a little bit far away. Asmodean on the other side of the map. Furious D is going to get eliminated so quickly. Very interesting laser drill positioning, thinking it was going to be a little bit more of an initiation than needed. So use that in like a nice spot where it would have done a lot for an actual battle there. But as soon as they lost that one member, they realized, hey, we actually have to back up. We cannot fight this. Asmodean's not here. Asmodean is just going to be hearthing home, getting some farm on. We can see he's up to 166 bonus damage. Still kind of low for this point in the game. And the boss is wailing away onto that keep, but Maelstrom, they've got other priorities, and that is the core. Trying to end this game, Biceps is quite low. This ward is doing a lot for in terms of healing. There's a nice Emerald Wind baiting out the Starfall, which does get wasted, and the Storm's almost picking up killing Chubbs, but there is the Maw. Once again, is the Force Wall set up? True, and it is. Chubbs spaceships into a tremendously bad situation, and that boss is just going to walk by Root Trader. So they don't even care if the stop not going to even be needed, and Trader will get hit by the Bolt of the Storm action from Tirana. Southern accent initiated. And that's GG. I think, oh no, Heroic Blade going to pick off Dunk Train, so that's something. But with Hunter's Mark and 4 members wailing away at you, Judgment into the wall. Wow, that was actually a ridiculously exciting game. Now that was quick match, but I'll tell you guys, if the day comes where you can join random like quick match games, random Hero League games, spectate, I'm just gonna join random games and commentate them, because that was actually like that was a super fun game. Like, how often do I get to see high level play that involves Force Wall? I don't. We don't see it in competitive. We don't see it in tournaments. But it's really nice to see that guys like Maelstrom are playing around with that. And the power of the Maw with the Force Wall. Look at that. Caffeine's in the chat. Welcome, King Caffeine. I don't know why it's not reading the chat on my overlay, but rip that. But no, that was just a really enjoyable game to watch. And we got to see the power of that Zagara build, where you have the 40% mobility and you have creep everywhere. I mean, K1 Pro was never afraid. He'd be in a 2v or 1v2 situation or a 1v3 situation. He's just like, try to kill me. I have so much creep spread, 40% movement speed, and you have no hard initiation. You have no hook. You have leap and web wrap, and that's it. So I'm not really all that worried about it, and he's going to be able to juke pretty much anything he has to. So really fun, great examples here of that Zagara build. So thank you for the replays, K1 Pro and Jim, also known as Venarian. Much appreciated. The games were really fun today. I'm going to get this obnoxious ambience out of here. I'm very curious as to why the chat stopped working. Rip, boys. No matter. All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for the Daily Quest number 12. Now, I actually don't know what I'm going to be doing for the Daily Quest tomorrow. And I'm open to suggestions. So if you guys would like to request a theme, if you guys would like me, or there's a certain hero you guys are looking to learn, whatever it is, you want to learn about merc camps, you're Heroes of the Dorm player, and you want like a rundown on a specific thing, just let me know. Just hit me up on Twitter, YouTube, or just Twitch PM, whatever you guys prefer. And let me know what you're looking for tomorrow, and I'll just gonna play it by ear. As soon as we're ready for the show tomorrow, we'll just pick a topic and we'll go with it. Chain Lightning Thrall. That's an option. That's an option. It's also pretty interesting because Thrall has fallen off. But the thing is I typically need content to work with. So I need to find replays of these things. So I will be deciding and announcing on Twitter very soon. So just follow the Twitter if you are looking to submit replays to me. Just keep an eye on the Twitter, and please submit those replays. And of course, the place to submit them is over at solidjakegg@gmail.com. You can send me any and all of your replays for that kind of stuff. Quintuple specialist. That sounds awful. That actually sounds awful. All right, but on that note, guys, that's gonna do it for today. In 2 hours from now, we will be live with the ESL Major League. It is the final day of the group stage, where all of the seeds will be finalized and going into playoffs, which happen at the end of the month. They happen next Friday, the 28th, maybe? Question mark? Sounds right. So, ESL Heroes, twitch.tv _ESL Heroes, or slash on twitch.tv/ESL_Heroes. There we go. That is the URL. QB and I will be casting the final games. We have Tuark versus Barrel Boys, and we have Tempo Storm versus Lunatic. So should be some great games tonight. Will Sylvanas be banned for playoffs? An excellent question. The answer is kinda. It's up to the teams. We have actually, Steve set a rule where he's like, this is on you guys. There's only 4 teams, so it's a very controlled tournament where it's 4 teams that know each other very well. We're putting the power in their hands as to whether or not they want Sylvanas and Tomb of the Spider Queen in the tournament, and I don't think they have to make that decision until like next Tuesday. If Sylvanas actually releases, they play her, they get a feel for her, that's when they're going to be like, all right, well, yeah, no, we really want her in the game. But I think all 4 teams have to say yes. So chances are Sylvanas will not be in playoffs. One of the teams is probably going to be like, no, we know what we're doing. We don't want any new variables in here just yet because we're not used to it yet. Because, I mean, Sylvanas she could change the meta so much. One hero can change so much. So that's what's going on with that. So, yeah, guys, we'll see you in a couple hours over on ESL Heroes. Thanks for watching. Thank you, everyone, for the follows. And you know, just tuning in. And again, guys, I can't thank you enough for voting for my channel for the best individual stream. We got 5th place, and that's considering how many people were in that category. I wasn't expecting to be anywhere near the top 5. So, guys, thank you. I don't even know what else to say. And thank you for voting for Town Hall as the best show, because we did get 1st place in that category. Really, really cool stuff. Much appreciated. The VOD will be up very soon, and I'll be alive on ESL Heroes in 2 hours. But until then, we'll see you later.